Hey, we are live. That's great. Okay, so I'm figuring out how to go live on Facebook, which is, hmm, this is delayed on Facebook to where I'm at. Hmm, can you hear that? This is delayed on Facebook to where I'm at. All right, I'm just checking. Sorry, you can fast forward through all this. Delayed on Facebook to where I'm at. Okay. All right, I'm just checking. Sorry, you can fast forward through all this. Delayed on Facebook. Okay, okay. All right, I'm gonna shut that off. I got my camera hooked up so you can have better view um of what I'm doing with my makeup today. I decided to do a bold lip today and say hello. Um, little by little, this is going to get a little bit more technically sound. Whew, my lights look good though, man. Wow, I am really white. Let me tone this down a little bit. Let me see if I can tone this down a smidge. I'm a little overexposed here because my camera's great. I have a really good camera. Let me see if that is helpful. All right. Yeah. Okay, so sorry guys, thanks for hanging in there with me as I check out technical things. There's really nothing I could do to make sure that it looks good. I have my laptop over here, that it looks good live on my laptop, and the technical stuff. This is for my lighting. Um, cool. Yeah, good. All right. So fast forward through all this stuff for the live. Here we go. I got some requests about my skincare routine, so I figured I'd start with that. My lips are really dry, so I'm gonna put some lip plumper on. So yeah, my skincare routine, and we'll go through that, and then I'll go through just like a light makeup and then a bold lip. I thought would be really fun. First thing that I'm gonna do though is exfoliate my lips, and I'm using this exfoliator for. I'll do the YouTube thing. Oh, look, I'm an influencer. Um, and this is called the Buff and Blur. I did bring my glasses this time, so I'm able to read products. So look, I'm not listing them, right? So you can see my ring light in my all my lights in my glasses reflection. So I'm not going to list my products. So you're just gonna have to grab a pen and paper and write notes down because, but I will tell you, this is called the Buff and Blur Lip Enzyme Exfoliator from Stila. When I softly retired from my previous employer a year and a half ago, I ended up freelancing. I had to come back to Pittsburgh. I went to move to Canada. Why is this not on? I went to move to Canada and then I ended up having to move back to Pittsburgh because of immigration laws. Um, and I started freelancing for Stila, and they were so good to me as I was building my business. Um, so the businesses that I have on the side, one is called Empowering Light Foundation, and that is my professional healing work that I do in the lineage of King Solomon. So if you want to know more about that, you can private message me. Um, and then I also have a website for a business for my timeline tarot readings and guided meditations, and of course this beauty webinars and all of this. So this series that I'm doing for the free tutorials is called No More Beauty Secrets. Because I'm just taking, there's a serum that's coming out of here, and then you can see these little like scrubby things, and then I'm just scrubbing my lips too. make sure that they're nice and exfoliated. It's really, it's amazing. And then I'm just gonna slough off my the excess dead skin cells. And so they're nice and soft and plump and juicy. And then I'm gonna use a lip plumper. I came much better prepared. Not the best preparation of all the preparations that I could do, but I did come better prepared with products. And I had some feedback for myself from the first live stream. But I like not having any pressure and I like not having it scripted because that's just, I don't do that, man. I used to do YouTube videos professionally, and if you know, you know. And everything was really fun when it wasn't scripted. And then all of a sudden it was becoming, well, not all of a sudden, but like little by little, it was like, more brands wanted in on it, of course, and they want to make money, of course, and they want their, so everything became like super scripted. And I just, I'm not an actor. So I kind of had like a bit of an attitude and a problem about it, I'll be honest. Um, a lot of that is just fear-based because like I, was afraid that I would become irrelevant or obsolete. Here on the side so you can see the sides. I put some lighting up there. Um, so anyway, yeah, so I don't like having scripts. I mean, I could do like teach a class and have like material to teach a class with. That's totally different. But like, telling, me like what I'm supposed to think about products and like how I'm supposed to just be like, this is amazing. Well, I'm sure it all is amazing, but what if it's not amazing for me? And, I'm gonna let y'all know all that stuff. Anyway, the point is, I'm not an actor, and that is why I am here doing this right now. Live. That was probably completely unnecessary. I was kind of tap dancing. All right, I'm going to use my Plum Plump serum. So this is from Glow Recipe. It's called Plum Plump. It is a hyaluronic acid serum. Um, yeah, I guess I'll do that. Before I even get involved in this, I brought up my nighttime routine from the bathroom. I'm upstairs in the second bedroom, like in my studio. So I brought up my stuff from the bathroom. So when I wash my face at night, this is the, what is it? Haru Haru Wonder from, it's Korean beauty. K-beauty is so amazing. But it's a rice oil cleanser, right? So I like to, and you use it on dry skin, and I like to use an oil-based cleanser in order to break up my makeup. And it's water soluble, so it rinses away clean. So I use it on dry skin and make everything like a big old mess. And sooner or later, I'll actually do my nighttime routine for you all, but I do that to remove my makeup and wipe it clean. I'll then exfoliate, and I'll do this once or twice a week. And I use the Ula Henriksen. This is the Lemonade Smoothing Scrub. Exfoliation is key, right? Like I turned 50 last year. It's crazy. Like I'm so glad I survived. I turned 50 last year, and exfoliation is the number one thing. Yes, I do get Botox sometimes. Yes, I do. I've had injectables, what, like I'll get some like down here. I've had it once like in my cheeks, and I was like, it kind of made me look like Maleficent because I already have like really high cheekbones. Um, I'll get my lips done because they've thinned out. I have no secrets, right? This is no beauty secret, no more beauty secrets, right? Like I'm very open about the things I get done to my face and what I do, but it's as far as the texture of my skin goes, exfoliation is key. And the reason why is because as we get older, our baby cells are born and then they migrate to the surface of our skin. And in our 20s, it's usually a 28-day cycle for fresh baby cells, baby skin cells to surface. right? As we get older, that cell migration process actually slows down. So 30s, 38 days, 40s, 48 days, 50, 58 days, and so on. So when you exfoliate the top layer of your skin on a regular basis, you're actually speeding up that cell migration process. So like, in my 50s, my skin is probably regenerating as they would like in my mid to late 30s, because I keep exfoliating, right? So exfoliation is one of the best things that you can do for your skin. Hands down, if you're not doing anything else, please exfoliate. And it's not just a scrub, like even though this is a scrub, this actually is also an AHA alpha hydroxy acid, like chemical peel with it. And I think that alpha hydroxy acids or excuse me, enzymatic exfoliant. I'm still like froggy from the cold. It's like lingering that I had last week. Um, I had yeah, so alpha hydroxy acids are far superior than scrubs, because scrubs you're going to get like an uneven, with all the beads, it's like you could put more pressure here and more pressure here, and it just becomes like an uneven exfoliation. But if you use an alpha hydroxy acid or a chemical peel in some way, which are just fruit acids, it sounds really um, like chemical peel, it's not that dramatic. It's really just fruit acids, or glycolic acid is from, sugarcane. Um, it's actually, you get a much more even application and a much more even exfoliation, which is great. And I even bring it down to my neck and my décolleté, which I call all of this from here down to my décolleté, my French face. I also don't forget behind my ears and behind your neck, because all of that skin is connected. If you really want some, lift and to be youthful and healthy, exfoliation is the key. So I firmly believe in that. The next thing I would use for like my nighttime treatment or just like weekly, I'll use vitamin C oil. And then on top of it, oh, I did. On top of it, I don't know, it's kind of messy. This one's almost empty. I'll use the Goddess Clay Mask from Charlotte Tilbury. Hands down, I've used this for years and I love a good clay mask. Ever since I became an esthetician and fell in love with clay masks. But this particular one doesn't dry my skin out at all. It does offer clarifying benefits, but it also makes my skin super baby soft and smooth. So what I'll do is I'll put 1 or 2 drops of the oil in my hand, and then I'll like warm it up. As I said, warm it up. And then I press it onto the skin, excuse me, and smooth it into my skin. And then I'll apply the mask and I'll put the mask on and I'll leave the mask on for a good 20 minutes, which is actually why I'm not doing all of it like live. I'll probably pre-record it so you can see what I'm doing and then you can reference back to this. Um, so the Goddess Skin Clay Mask from Charlotte Tilbury. Don't sleep on Charlotte Tilbury skincare because I will tell you she is incredible in every way. So I love that. So I'll leave that on for 20 minutes, rinse it off. And then I use the New Face microcurrent. I don't know if anybody has used microcurrents before, but you do need like a hyaluronic acid serum underneath it, or you're going to feel the microcurrents and it's quite unpleasant. But I do use the microcurrent as a way for lymphatic drainage and then also to help tighten up my skin. So I'll do that. You should do it daily. I don't. I do it when I remember it. I'm kind of lazy with the everyday with that. Um, and then after that is when I'll do like, I'll usually use my hyaluronic acid serum. New Face is the microcurrent company, that the brand that I use that from. And then like they have, different serums that you could use that are like lubricants that can little slip and slide on there. So, you could do that, but I found like a hyaluronic acid serum works just as well. You just end up using a lot of it. So you could use, because this can be quite the investment. You could use like Neutrogena has a really nice hyaluronic acid serum called Hydro Boost. I've used it in my kit and used it on set quite a few times, and it's absolutely stunning. Like it works so well for hydration. I just particularly, my skin just really loves this one from Glow Recipe. So do that. And then after I do my serum, if I feel like I still need moisturizer, I started using this moisturizer called the Transformation Face Cream by Marini Solution Skin Solutions. I like it. It's a little pricey, but like I'm liking it for now. It seems to like really even out my skin texture and feel really good and stay hydrated. So a little bit goes a long way. So that's what I'm using there. So that is that for basically my nighttime routine. For the daytime, I'm going to use some Grande Lash from Lash MD Grande Cosmetics, or Grande Beauty. I don't know what they call themselves. I should probably know, but whatever. I don't. Sorry, Grande Beauty. I don't know, but this is a lash serum, and I've used this lash serum for about, oh gosh, probably over a decade. This is great. So if anybody remembers the lash enhancing serum from like Latisse, um, it does the same thing and it's like half the price. Oh, one thing I will say, Peace Out acne dots. Look, these are acne healing dots. Yo, if I get every once in a while, I'll get like a blemish and it's sometimes it doesn't won't come to a head by itself. So I'll actually put this on it and it actually starts drawing it to the surface. And then if I do decide to become a home surgeon and do that because I do, I don't judge any of you either, so don't judge me with your eyes. Um, I will put one of these on and it's so like almost gross. You leave it on overnight and it actually pulls all that stuff in there. And then usually a blemish that would last me about a week to heal only lasts like 2 days. So 2, 3 days. I swear by these. I won't be without them. Excuse me. It is dry. More water. Okay. So that is part of my skincare routine. So I forgot who asked me. I should probably remember that. I will try to do my best to remember that. And there you go. So have at it. I will start with a little bit of for my own face today. I'm going to start with a little bit of my serum and I'm going to use my foundation brush because I really want it to be even. And those days of like I remember, I don't know where the trend came from on the TikToks and the Instagrams of like people like dripping their serums onto their face. But I think it's a waste of product and it looks stupid. I think it's probably it's probably like a sexual thing, like makes you think of sex in some way, like, and that's why it sells and people think it's cool. I think it's kind of no, I'm not gonna say. I was gonna say I think it's kind of dumb, but if that's how you end up doing your skincare, I will not judge you openly, maybe privately. I mean, I just don't see any point in that, quite frankly. I mean, you could just put it straight on your brush and it because it's wasting your product. And I like using a clean foundation brush to get my serum evenly on my face. And I'm actually holding it really close, like to the brush to get a lot of pressure. I told you, no more beauty secrets. This is where I'm like truly being me. I have no restrictions, guys and gals and persons. I have no restrictions on what I need to say because I am not representing anybody but myself. I do look like, wow, I am so white. I'm like looking at my laptop now. That's crazy how this looks like so. Well, that's fine. I'm a porcelain princess. Whatever. We'll deal with it. Um, all right. So we got my serum. Everything's glowing and looks really good. I'm happy about that. I am going to use my eye cream, and the eye cream that I use is the Benefiance wrinkle resist eye cream from Shiseido. And that's how you pronounce it, Shiseido. So that's it right there. And then I'm just going to take a little bit and place it under my eyes. Let that sit for a bit. You all know the drill. You know, it's funny too because I set intentions with my skincare and I have beauty webinars that I launched last year. But really, it's like, I can make my skin cells work even better, or my skin cells. I can make, well, yeah, my skin products work even better for me by setting intention into it, right? I think about this a lot. I'm very nerdy and I think about how our skin is alive and our skin cells are alive and so are the molecules in our skincare products. And if you're familiar with the work from Dr. Emoto or even Veda Austin, um, where well, Veda Austin particularly, I thought was even, I mean, Dr. Emoto is more well known with vibration and intention with water molecules and how water can hold that memory. Well, Veda Austin decided to um, capture an image of the water molecule. Like she'll put an intention in there and she will, I'm going to use my moisturizer. She put an intention into the water molecule with either like holding it and putting an emotion and attention into it, or placing a picture under a petri dish of water. And then she would freeze the water in the petri dish and she would capture images of the crystallization of the water to the ice. And then in those images was actually an imprint of the image that she had under the petri dish, or the intention. It was like a representation. If she thought love, then there would actually be like a heart that showed up in the intention in the crystallization of the water molecules turning to ice. And I thought, well, hot damn. Like if that could work with water, most of our skincare products are mostly made of water. Our bodies are mostly comprised of water. So our thoughts and our intentions not only affect us as we generally know that, right? We are what we think, but also with our skincare products. So I can actually hold my skincare products and send intention into the molecules. Like think about the molecules. Really connect with the idea of the structure of each of the molecules that are in your skincare products and send love and goodness, productivity, beauty, youth, vigor, vitality, energy, goodness, and actually put that into that intention in your skincare products. And so when you're using it, it actually can help with that intention each day. So you could be more intentional each day with the beauty routine that you have. And so the webinar Majestic Beauty, I actually teach you basic skin physiology and then also like different techniques on how to do that. So you don't have to really think about it yourself. And so yeah, so when I launch those, I'll let you know. Very cool. It'll all be on elfcafe.com. Okay, friends, I put my moisturizer on. I do my eye cream before I do my moisturizer, and the reason why is because moisturizer molecules are actually larger than eye cream molecules or eye product molecules. And the reason why is I think of different types of paper, right? So the skin around the eyes is like tissue paper. The skin on the face is like notebook paper. The skin on your body is like construction paper. And so those molecules or those skin cells are actually like smaller and then medium and then larger. So if I'm putting moisturizer that's meant for my face, and then I put it up around the eye area, those larger molecules are trying to go and penetrate into a smaller skin cell. And that's why you get puffy, or sometimes you get that milia around the eye, those little hard bumps around the eyes because they're clogged pores. So that's why using eye cream first will actually help to hydrate. These molecules are smaller, and eye products are usually a little bit more expensive because the technology to get all these active ingredients into these smaller skin cells and delivery systems are like takes more money to figure it out, right? Um, and to make it worth your while. So they're usually more concentrated and smaller molecules. So that's why eye creams and eye products and eye serums and treatments are usually more expensive than just a regular moisturizer. And then once I have that on, I can put my moisturizer on over it. And I don't have to, I don't like around here, I don't really bring my moisturizer up here because I don't need to because it's already hydrated. So you can use eye products down here along the face, but why? Because you're wasting, there's only a little tiny bit of this when you can get everything done like this with that product. So that's a little bit of education about skincare and eye creams. And yes, I do believe in eye creams. No, I do not believe in putting, I don't agree with, and nor do I recommend using your moisturizer underneath the eyes because I've seen it happen over and over again that it's just not effective enough. Okay, back to it. All right, let's do some of my complexion. Oh, wait, first I am going to put on some eyeshadow primer because that's what I do. And I'm gonna do a softer brow today. It's kind of like I call this brow the I don't have time for this shit brow. Basically. Sorry guys, if you're I should probably watch my mouth. If there's any children presents. Although anybody that's following me and has children, I'm sure your children probably heard way worse coming out of your mouth. So I don't know. But that's the extent of it. I'm probably not going to be dropping any F-bombs or anything on here. Maybe. I mean, if you know me in person, more than likely, but on here, do my best to be very respectful. Okay. So we got that. And then I'm gonna set it. I am gonna try that. Hey, where are you? Oh yeah, I am gonna try this Laura Geller product. So like I'm actually gonna try it today. Oh no. Did my camera shut off? No, it's good. Okay, I don't know what happened there. So my camera's a little bit older and I don't know if no, it didn't. Um my batteries don't last as long as they used to. I have another one charging. So if I have to make a part due for this, then so be it. Then the live streaming video gods have spoken. And I'm fine with that. Okay. So who am I to question them? I'm gonna take a little bit of my brow powder. So this is the I don't have time for this shit eyebrows. And because if I'm doing like pictures or what have you, I'll usually do the pencil and draw it all in. But I mean, I don't have time for that today. So I am gonna go straight into my flat smudge brush. This is a brush that is discontinued from Sephora collection. And this is just what I do, right? I go on here and I just kind of get messy with it. And literally, this is what I'm doing. I probably went down a little too low right there. I get a little messy with it and I just go from there to there. And I'm just mixing the two colors, the eyebrow powder from Anastasia Beverly Hills, and this is the caramel powder for the redheads. She has like the best redhead tones in her product. She really does. I've tried them all. I've tried so many of them, and this is just the best ones that I found. So now that I got this done and this done, I'm gonna kind of make sure that I go up here, get a little bit on the tail, but not too much. I'm stopping pretty much like right at the arch. And then I'm just going to check and make sure that it looks relatively even. Yeah, I have my mirror right here. I'm trying to maybe, yeah, I don't know. Okay, maybe that'll be good. Yeah. You don't even know what I just did. I just adjusted my mirror to make sure that like I'm still kind of looking directly in the camera. So you can see my brows. And I mean, I could just walk out the door like this. I'm not going to, but I could. But this is where I am going to take my, and you've seen this before in another video, if you didn't see it, how I measure the brow. And like I said, like I have, I'm so used to where my brows go. I'm going to take the same powder with an angled brush, right? You can probably see it better without my hand there. An angled brush. It's really thin. Fuzzy on my nose. I'm going to use the deeper shade, right? I do have fuzz all over me. Deeper shade, on my brush. And I am like, I can like wipe off the excess if I want to, but like, again, I don't have time for this, right? So I'm just gonna go first on the arch and go out. I'm really not wiping this off so much, but I'm just getting it relatively even. I will say though, I do like to use the spoolie on the end of my pencil to clean up any mistakes or edges that I need to make sure it's relatively even. But I mean, look, I'm just gonna smooth these out and you can see like they do look a little different. That's fine. I don't really care. Not today. So I'm just gonna kind of bring this one down a little bit. This one's like pretty straight. I kind of like that. I'm going for a straight brow today. Cool. Okay. And then I'm just gonna draw the hairs straight down from the arch down. And this is all with powder and with eyeshadow primer underneath it. And then I check up top to make sure that they're even underneath. They look relatively even. That's good enough. Cool. Great. Sounds good to me. All right, so I'm gonna put that there, and then I'm gonna take a little bit of my Laura Geller powder, foundation powder, bounce my brush, and then I'm just gonna, again, soften these up. And that's pretty much it for the soft brow, the I don't have time for this ish brow. I will though, if it's a little too deep on the tops here, I'll soften the tops. I'll keep underneath like much more defined, right? Like underneath here. And that's it. And I will be out the door with this. So this is my really quick. I mean, I was explaining it, so it seemed like a little bit longer, but like when I'm in a hurry, I just do this and then that's fine. Okay. Now what I'm going to do is a little bit, I do always use my Ilia Super Serum Skin Tint, SPF 40. Somebody asked for that. It does have niacinamide and squalane and hyaluronic acid, so it's super nourishing. This one is called ST5 Bomb Bomb. Bomb Bomb. Bomb Bomb. I don't know if you can see it. Yeah. It's nice having my camera. Okay, I'm gonna take a couple drops like so, blend it in my fingers, and then smooth it out on my skin. It's a little more, like my skin's pretty neutral and it's super hydrated right now, which is fine, but I'm feeling like my skin is maybe a little too hydrated. And if that is the case, oh, do I not have tissues? I don't have tissues. Okay, I'm just gonna use my washcloth here. Normally what I would do is tissues, and I would just press and kind of blot. And yeah, it works with it with a washcloth too. Just tissues are very gentle. I'm not wiping, but I am, oh, that's way better. It is hydrated. And I just, if I ever feel like I have too much product on my face using, now I can smooth it out. That's great. Then I will use a tissue. I am going to put a little bit, I think some of this came off. I'm going to put a little bit more. Cool. And that's where I feel like I need that. That's good. That feels great. I apply it really only where I feel like I need the most coverage. Um, cool. Done. Then we're gonna do a little bit of concealer like I did last time. I'm probably, now this is like my everyday kind of look, so I'm not gonna do all the things that I did last time because I wanted to take pictures last time, which by the way, I didn't. Didn't. I took some pictures of my phone and then I was like, yeah, whatever. I think I just got distracted. I am gonna take off some of that. I will do this. So really what I'm not doing is like a lot of like contour, and I am gonna use my fingers this time. So I'm using my middle finger, and I like using my middle finger, and I'm doing like a press roll, right? When it comes to, and then I'm just press, 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 right? Doing little stippling action with my fingers. Now you could use a sponge for this. Personally, I like using the fingers again because it keeps skin on skin looks like skin when applying makeup. I'm not going to make a joke about skin on skin, but skin on skin when applying makeup looks like skin. So it's good to have that warmed up product. So I am going to do a little bit on my chin. And then this is warmed up now anyway, so I can just kind of smooth that right in here. And that's pretty much it. That's as far as coverage goes. So you could see where most of my coverage is. I mean, the camera really picks up where that coverage is. It actually looks a little different in person. Um, and for the sake of the camera, oh, it's a really nice. I'm gonna do a little bit there and then this camera looks like wild. So I'm gonna place it here. Now, this concealer is like it's full coverage, but like you can, I'm shearing it down by blending it in, and then I'm just gonna soften it in the corners. I still can barely feel it on my skin, which is amazing because you know I don't like to feel like I'm wearing a lot of makeup. And now what I'm gonna do is dun, 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 is okay. I thought I lost it. I'm gonna use the Laura Geller. I'm so excited to use this. This is the Balance and Brighten Fair. Um, and this is the Baked Foundation, Balance and Brighten Foundation Powder. They sent a brush with it, this little like travel kabuki brush looking thing. And so I'm gonna press it in here and then see, ooh, that is nice. How's that look? Yeah, I like this. I have not tried this before. Um, I bought this product. This is not a paid endorsement, or like I said, I don't for the No More Beauty Secrets, I just don't I'm not doing this for any brand. I'm not being endorsed by any brand. Um, yeah, that's lovely. I'm a fan. Yeah, that's great. Okay, great. That makes me happy. It's nice and soft and smooth, and it doesn't feel like heavy or a lot on my skin. And it did look like it kind of blurred out some stuff. Cool. I love that. All right, I am gonna go inside here and I'm gonna take a fluffy brush and actually go in there, and I'm gonna kind of warm it up. I didn't really warm it up. I wanted to see what it would look like without being warm, but I want to go inside this little nostril area here. Usually with baked products, I don't like if you get a foundation that's baked or powder that's baked, it's so finely milled that usually you don't have to do too much to warm it up to have it fuse with the skin because it's so finely milled that it'll fuse with the skin almost immediately. That's why, like, sometimes if you've ever had like a baked blush or something, it's like, ooh, it like latches onto your skin and it's difficult to like blend out right away. Yeah, because of that. Okay, here we go. What's next? A little bit of eyes. I'm not gonna do a whole lot of my eyes right now. Because I want it to be like a lip focus, right? So I'm gonna take a little bit of my foundation powder and I'll usually use that as like a base eyeshadow when I want it to look more natural looking. Um, Anybody is looking for like the perfect nude fleshy toned eyeshadow, just use your foundation powder or your pressed powder. Um, but have, an eyeshadow primer underneath it. So I really like that. And then, if I want my brows to be more defined without adding more color, I'll actually just switch my brushes. Brushes are really amazing. So I'm using this flat concealer brush, and I love that there's like that point at the very, very tip of it. So I can just very gently go in and add some definition. Now, this is a powder. I don't really like using a cream or liquid concealer for this because it could actually mute out your eyeshadows. Like anybody that uses concealer as an eyeshadow base, it works really well for like the first hour, and then you probably notice that your pigments are like dull. They're not as bright as they were, and it's because there's emollients usually in concealers. Um, I mean, there's some concealers that you can double as an eyeshadow primer. Like I know there's the full cover concealer from Makeup Forever, my favorite brand. Um, Makeup Forever, if you're listening, I love you. So the full cover is like waterproof. I've used that as an eyeshadow primer, but even still, like when you use concealers, because there's like pigments, it's like your body heat kicks in and actually mutes it. So anyway, I'd use an eyeshadow primer, a very sheer layer of my foundation powder, just making sure my eyebrows still look. Yes, I'm using, I didn't realize I was doing that. Um, I'm using my nails to blend. Don't worry, I washed my hands. I cleaned my nails. Like, here. All right. Like, does that make you feel better? Makes me feel better, judgingly. Um, Again, I would never do that on a model or a client. That's only for me. Um, that's a disclaimer. Okay. I'm gonna do the lips now because like depending on how bright and how dramatic the lip is, that's like I'm gonna probably soften the eye. I don't want to do my eyes before my lips when I'm doing a bold lip because I want the lip to be the focus. And then sometimes if I do my eyes, I'll do my eyes like a little too dramatic and then I put the lip on and it's just a little too much. So I'm gonna do the lip first. So I'm gonna do like what my feature, like what the focus is. Um, so I'm gonna remove the lip plumper that's on my lip. And I'm gonna go into a pretty bold red lip. Um, yes. I'm like, where are you? Huh. I thought I had it. Do I? Yes, I did. Okay, great. I didn't even have to go fishing. I was prepared and I didn't believe in myself that I was prepared, but I am prepared. So I love a red lip. And one of my favorite red lips, when it comes to reds, I usually go for like a liquid lipstick or a liquid cream stain. Um, Stila has one of my absolute favorites, and it's called Bezos, and it is the what is it? What is oh God. Okay, this is why I brought the glasses. Y'all. The struggle is real. I probably still can't see it with the glasses. It's Stay All Day Liquid Lipstick. It's pretty simple, isn't it now? Thank you, Stila, for keeping it simple. So that is it. That's what it looks like. And this is a newer formula. And they have like a really cool doe foot applicator that's angled and has a pointed to it. So I absolutely love it. The other brand that I really love, and I'm actually going to mix these two. I'm going to put this all over and then pop the center with this fuchsia. And this is from Sephora Collection, Cream Lip Stain. And I can't see. I think it's called fuchsia, but I don't know because I can never see any of these. Even when I used to work for the company, I was like, what the hell? I would have to take pictures of everything and then blow it up. So I'm not doing that. All right, so this is what we're gonna do. I'm gonna get really cozy. Maybe I'll bring this in some. Ooh, hi there. Um, And then I will bring, whoa, that's a little too far. Sorry, that was not very smooth at all, was it? I lost my remote control. Okay, here we go. Sorry. So I'm going to start in the center. I already have like my foundation powder. I'll just do it again so you can see. This is how I just really get a great lip. The lip takes a long time when I really want the lip. Like red lips are great on everybody. It's just a matter of like the tone of the red that you're using. But also how you're applying it. If it's a big old mess, like it takes time. You can't just throw on a red lip unless I can't even just throw on a red lip. I need to like take some time to make sure that it looks good. Um, so anyway, I'm gonna show you how I get a proper red lip. So I'm gonna take my foundation powder and I'm gonna go around the edges and smooth those out. I'm gonna go right in with the liquid lipstick and I'm gonna actually kind of like shave off the edges. Oh my. All right, so I'm gonna start in the center. And this is red, y'all. I'm not talking. It's like working with liquid liner. So you can see how I started with the Cupid's bow. I tried to use my nostrils as like a gauge on where to go. To get it centered. And then I'm going to take a little bit more because it's dry and go down the center here. And I want to make sure the line's pretty smooth. So if you notice what I'm doing is I'm actually holding it and I'm moving my head. I didn't even realize I did that until now. It's not like I'm just moving this. I'm actually moving my head too. So I don't have to move this around so much. So what I'm doing now is I'm actually going in. I'm cutting it into the lip. And I'm using this side. I turned, instead, I used the flat of the applicator here, and then I turned it to the side to get a more narrow application. Now, this is not 100%, so I'm going to use the very tip. right? And it's getting a little dry, so I just want to grab a little bit more. So now I can refine the edges. Yeah. So I want to make sure that, because usually when I'm looking in the mirror, I'm like, this is nice. I want to go natural and see if the sides line up. And you can see this bottom one comes out a little bit more. I don't want Joker lips. And then I check north, south, east, west. So I check the north, see if the peaks line up. And then I check underneath to make sure it's smooth. That looks really good. I'm not touching it. And then do the sides connect? And this lower one is a little bit farther out, so it's not completely connecting. And look, I prefer a liquid lip to do a bold lip like this because once I get this done, I don't want to have to keep doing this throughout the day. And it usually lasts. So I'm going to take a cotton tip applicator, add some pressure, and soften that. Yeah. And, I lost a little bit of pigment there, and that's okay. I actually like to, I did, I did Fashion Week in London for the Burberry show. It was just such an amazing experience. So, thank you to Sephora for giving me that experience. And thank you to Wendy Rowe, who was the creative director of the makeup brand and their global artist. And so she gave me that opportunity because she saw me work and she was like, yeah. So she gave me the opportunity to work the show. And I thought it was amazing. And she had this technique where she would do this bold lip and then soften the edges to where it like didn't look exactly perfect and it just like softened the red lip. So it's just a little bit more diffused and soft. Um, I know in American culture in the United States, we have like these beauty trends where we have these really hard lines. Um, in Europe and in the UK, it's different. I mean, the beauty trends are very different, which I love. It's really great to see the differences. I am going to take though a little bit. If you do want that more defined lip, I usually do a concealer brush. Now, this is not like my every day. Usually I would be like, that's good enough, and then walk out the door. But if I really wanted to perfect it, I use the foundation powder or pressed powder on one side of the brush. And rather than use liquid concealer of the such, I use this to perfect the edges. And it works really, really well, as you can see. So yeah, this is how I get a perfected bold lip. And I know some of you are probably like, "Oh, that is way too much." I know. You want it to look good, this is what you got to do. I mean, if you're good to be like, okay, this is good enough when I'm out the door, this is too much, then that's cool too. Good, I'm just here sharing all the pro beauty tips and tricks. It is, it does take time. That's why, like, I don't like to have to rush to do my makeup. Like, if I'm going somewhere special and I really want to look my best and I want it to be absolutely beautiful and balanced and sound, then yeah, I make sure that I set that time aside to give myself time, right? To give myself the time to do it. Okay. Now I do have quite a bit. I want to use my finger and kind of warm it up. And you can see some of the excess will come off. Now this stuff doesn't come off, but if you have too much product for your skin to hold, you will get like some creasing or some transfer. So I'm using my finger and then wiping it off each time. I use my finger to warm it up and kind of blot it at the same time. Now, using a tissue to blot in a liquid lipstick is going to result in you having pieces of tissue on your lip. Yeah, good. Good stuff. So now that I got that done, if I want to layer these two products, it's going to start to get a little too much product. So if that is the case, sometimes I'll take like a little bit of a lip balm and put it in the center of the lip, or even a lip gloss that I could do, or even like a little bit of an oil. I'm just going to take a little bit of like my oil, a tiny bit. And like I literally put half a drop on my hand and then I'm gonna shear it down to where I am like all over my hand, right? I mean, it's always just good for your hand anyway. Just a tiny little bit, and I'm just gonna go right in the center of the lip and just kind of very gently. Like you can see, I removed some of this lip color so I can layer the next layer, lip color on top of it without it being too much. So I'm going to take a little bit of my hot pink, my fuchsia pink, and I'm going to go right in the center. So I don't particularly like just hot pink lips, like all over, like just one color. It's really fun, but it's like it's a look and it's not what I'm in the mood for. So I'm going to take this and just pop the center of the lip. And then that adds some dimension for me. It's really fun. So I love doing this with red. So the Bezos, the Bezos is like a true red. And then you can put the hot pink in the center. You could put like a hot orange in the center too to kind of change up the red lipsticks. So it's fun. Anyway, oh yeah, I'm gonna perfect that. Anyway, so that is my bold lip. Um, I did have a little bit of a messy. So I'm just going to use my red lipstick to just perfect the line and then just go in and use a Q-tip. So this happens, right? I mean, like, it's part of wearing makeup. There we go. Good. Great. Now, since I'm using a hot pink, I'm actually going to go from the focus, which is the lip, and then in the same color family, put a tiny little bit of blush on. Now, I like for every day, I could just put on mascara and go. I do like to put a little pop of color because I'm feeling cheeky. So this is from this thing is so old. I've had this palette for I don't even know how many years, and it's from Hourglass. I think they still have it, but these are the ambient lighting, ambient and lighting edit palette. But it's the ambient powders, and so they also have like different blushes and bronzers. I've had this for years and I've used it for years, and I will mist some alcohol on it and wipe it down with a tissue, and they still work and they're amazing. I'm gonna take a softer brush, like a smaller, brush. Um, and this one is from Shiseido, and I'm just gonna press the blush brush in here. And then press that. This is just a beautiful, soft highlighting blush every day. It's not a whole lot of pigment and color. I just think that, I'm pretty fair right now. And with that bold lip, it would really kind of wash me out a little bit. And then I'm actually going to go a little bit more on trend and go around, I think, the tip of the nose here. Um, Maybe put a little on my chin. Cool. And then I'm going to take a little bit of like the bronzing one here and then layer it. So I don't like just using one blush color. I usually try to create dimensions with like either a bronzer or like a deeper powder just to keep it giving me a little bit more dimension. I don't want to go like super shiny either. The ambient powders are beautiful. Like I literally just take the top row and I mix them all together here and press it and warm it up. And then I can just go right above it and create this beautiful blurred highlight on the eye. And honestly, like I love the ambient powders because I can take any of them and put it on my finger, and that'll actually be my eyeshadow. I'm not gonna do like contouring on the eyes and do too much. I mean, I already have this like natural looking contour because my bone structure is pretty dramatic. But I am gonna go in here. What I do like to do so my eyes don't completely disappear is I will take an eyeshadow and is this, yeah. And it's, again, once again, the pillow talk. I'm just gonna use that little deeper shadow just to add under my eye, just a little bit for definition. Because my eyes, I don't have very large, I have very small eyes. So I'm just gonna add it there and kind of wing it out. And basically this is a little tiny, make this little tiny eyeshadow brush, just a regular standard eyeshadow brush. And then I tap off the excess here to warm it up on my hands, like so, right? So, and then I start on the outer edge and I work my way in. There. And then I'll just kind of wing this out a little bit. Now, as far as like I mean, once I do like mascara, my eyes will pop out pretty nice. So I am gonna do my mascara. Do I want to? No, I don't want to curl my lashes. I don't care. So I am gonna go in here and I want to tilt my head back some because I don't have eyeliner on, and so I'll end up getting on the base of the lashes, but also like on my skin along my lash line, I'll end up getting mascara on there. So I just want to be mindful that I'm not pressing too hard into the base of the lash. Ta-da. So wiggle as I go up. Now my lashes are like light and thin. They have a pretty good length though. And so, I mean, you can go on top if your lashes are like super light, like blonde and thick. Um, you can coat the tops of your lashes if you want to. I don't really feel like I ever need to. I would for like a photo shoot or something. I mean, it's always good to coat the lashes. Actually, yeah, I can talk about that. Okay. So one thing that I'll do to coat lashes, in case you don't have it. So remember Mr. Angle Brush, right? Ta-da. Ooh, my battery's gonna die soon. So I'll just show you real quick. I will actually coat the brush back and forth on the mascara. And then you could just go in and actually just coat the base of the lashes like so. So if you got, eyeshadow on your lashes, then that is the case. You could do that technique and paint the top of your lashes with an angle brush or a concealer brush. Just be very gentle with it. And the battery on my camera is gonna die soon. So if I don't get to close out for all of you, I want to thank you for tuning in. This is my waterproof from Maybelline, and I'm gonna go over it. Um, I want to thank you for tuning in and for sharing. Oh my gosh, I had like 3,000 views on my last video, y'all. Like, thank you so much. That's awesome. And just like this one, right? Like, share with your friends if you want, product recommendations. I suggest you grab a notebook and a pen and just watch it and go through because I do share all the names and the brands of all the products that I use. I'm going to do a little mascara on the bottom. But yeah, so I actually have a YouTube channel too. It's just under my name, I think. I started it back in like 2017 and then just I only had like two videos up and like five followers or subscribers. So I've actually been downloading this recording, or the last recording from the Facebook Live, and then I put it up on my YouTube channel. So I think this might be my primary platform for now, but I might actually have some content on YouTube that I don't have here. So I will zoom out. Ta-da! And that's it. So thank you so much. Um, You all have been great, and I hope you enjoy this. And remember, it's no more beauty secrets, and I will randomly be live streaming. So share with your friends, get it out there, make me famous. It's cool. I can handle being famous. I think I'd be a really good famous person. That's all. The end. Talk to you later. Bye. Now, how do I stop this?